making pizza, and I can't take any credit for anything because I'm not good at that kind of stuff. This is Adam Grucio's recipe, and I'll leave a link to his YouTube channel in the thing below. Now I'm going to start with the cheese. I guess I should first explain. I'm making New York style pizza, and for those of you who have not been exposed to the amazingness that is New York style pizza. New York style pizza is thin, it's floppy, it's the opposite of me. So let's get started. So we're going to need special cheese. Now you may be saying, Ryan, you blithering idiot, you have cheese sticks. I do. However, these cheese sticks are whole milk, low moisture cheese sticks, which is very important. They give you that string, that string / pull that you really, really want. Now while I chop these up, I'm going to talk to y'all about the dough. So the dough for this is quite simple actually. It's it is a very simple dough. However, there are some special ingredients that you're going to want with it. For example, Bradley, get me a chef's knife. This is too small. Yes. For example, it's very easy. The only thing with it is that you need a special kind of flour, and I'm not going to ask you to buy the most expensive flour in the world. It's $5 at Kroger. I mean, not now, once the pandemic ends. Thank you, Bradley. It's called bread flour. And the difference between bread flour and all-purpose flour is very interesting. So there's more protein in bread flour, which allows gluten to develop better. Okay, so when gluten happens, when gluten happens, you get stretchier, thinner dough, easier. So that's why bread flour is needed. You can use all-purpose. You're going to have to knead it longer. But I am using bread flour today. So you may ask,
actually, can you explain what kneading the dough does?
Kneading the dough stretches out those glutens, I believe. Don't quote me. No one ever should quote me. When kneading, it stretches out those glutens and develops them more so that they can lead to a stretchier pizza dough. Got it, B? I know. Coolsies. All right, so now, while I'm chopping this up, I'll go over the recipe. So it's pretty simple. You're going to start with 2.5 cups of warm water. Now, if it's too hot, if it's above like 145 degrees Fahrenheit, or I believe like 53 degrees Celsius, it's going to kill your yeast. And we don't like to kill things in the kitchen unless it's a bird, or a cow, or a pig. Sometimes pandas are okay. Also, when you're making, so you're going to start out with the 2.5 cups of water, and you're going to get out your yeast, which that's our jar of yeast, and you're going to throw in a nice teaspoon of that, and then also in there you're going to throw in a tablespoon of sugar. It does not make the dough sweet, it simply just gives the yeast something to eat. So this is called blooming yeast. We're checking to see if it's still alive. And then after 2-3 minutes, maybe 4, you're going to see really, really fast bubbles appear, which is really, really cool. And then once that's done, you're going to add salt. Some people I heard have said salt kills yeast. It does not. Anyways, so you're going to dump a tablespoon of sugar in there, let it bloom. When you're done with that, you're going to throw in like a little glug of olive oil, and that's going to help it brown up in the oven.
In a home
oven, yes. So then once you've done that, you add your salt, like I said, just maybe a couple teaspoons to your taste. And then when you're done with that, it's really simple. You add 5 cups of flour. And you can do this in like that, in a Cuisinart. It is Cuisinart, right? No, KitchenMaid, stand mixer, or you can do it with your hands. And then when you're done, mix it all together, forms a loose little dough, knead it. I can be sitting there kneading for about 7 to 10 minutes sometimes, and you're going to want to stretch out the dough thin enough so you can see light through it. And if you don't do that, and if you can't stretch it out that thin, you need to knead it more. Okay? So I'm just chopping up this cheese, which isn't very interesting. So then I'll go over the sauce. Now, for the sauce, so New York style pizza is cheap. You get it for $1 a slice in some pizza parlors, but mostly it stays around $3. Nice little tidbit. Anyways, so the sauce is pretty simple. You're going to start with 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. I haven't found a difference, but what I've used is, I forget, just get crushed tomatoes. Probably more expensive ones from Italy are preferred, but whatever. So then crushed tomatoes, you put that in. Then to the crushed tomatoes, I like to taste them right away. And if they're very acidic, or you don't get much tomato base, I like tomato flavor in my sauce. So I'll add a little bit of tomato paste and make sure it's really mixed in because it's a paste. And it'll give a little more tomato base to your sauce. If that's not your thing, that's okay. If it's really acidic, add a touch of bitter sugar. Don't make it too sweet. That will ruin your pizza. And then make sure to add salt. Salt's going to be really important in creating that. And if you like lupus spice, you can put in some crushed red pepper, yeah. And that's basically it. Oh, you're gonna want to add olive oil. It just makes it much better. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe it gives it like a more fruity tone. Alright, so that's about it. I'm now going to give this to Bradley to clean up, and I'm going to go into the cooking method. So today I'm using a 16-inch pizza stone, which barely fits in our oven, and this pizza peel. Pizza peels are actually important, and you'll see in a minute why. So my oven preheats to 550 degrees. Now I have a convection roast setting. Use that if you have it. Yeah, so take it up to the highest degree that your oven will go to. And once you've done that, you're going to want to let that stone preheat in the oven for a full hour. Get it rocket hot. And you're also going to want one more thing. You're going to want cornmeal
Or flour.
or like a coarsely ground flour to put on your stone. Peel.
So so the pizza does not stick and.
Exactly, so it slides off really freaking easily. Alright, Bradley, get one of those doughs out of the fridge.
Yes.
So those doughs, when we let those rise, I just throw them into the fridge right away and let them rise for a day. You can let them rise out on the countertop and go for a couple hours, but I prefer this. It's fine. Yeah. So this is the dough. This is enough for a smaller pizza. And I'm going to, my brother is going to get out a plate of flour, just a plate with some flour on it. This is our dough. See, so this is very smooth. The bottom's going to be a little more different. So what we're going to actually do, that's why it's self-rising.
Oh god.
Get all purpose. So what you're going to want to do is keep this to the bottom of your pizza because that's going to have a better chance of sliding out or sliding off the peel. Also, I'll get my sauce out about now, and I might put some mushrooms on half this pizza. Oh, another thing I guess I should mention, I like in between my cheese and my sauce layer, another layer of cheese, a nice Parmesan, and the Parmesan just gives it a little bit extra flavor that's really nice in the pizza. Alright, so my brother's got a flour plate. It's pretty simple. It's a plate with some flour on it, and I'm just going to gently grab
Also make sure if you refrigerate the cheese, what does that do, Ryan?
If you refrigerate the cheese, it can help it separate less in the oven and squeeze out like a really greasy, oozy grease layer, which you want a little bit of grease, but not a lot. So remember, the side facing towards me is the bottom. And now you just kind of stretch this out with your hand a little bit. Let it go around and around and around. I do throw this up in the air sometimes.
I can move the camera.
That's okay. See how it's getting nice and thin? We're going to want it about half of this, maybe even a quarter. See, you want it to get really freaking thin. That's the point of just going around in this circle, get it really thin. Because it's going to rise a little bit still in the oven, and if it's quite thick, or like even thicker than this, when it rises, it's going to give you like a Domino's Pizza Hut kind of thing going on. See, that's very thin. That is very good. That gives us our New York styled pizza. Don't get it in the cornmeal if you're going to flip it a little more like I just did. I mean, unless you want cornmeal all around your kitchen, that's okay too.
Actually, that pizza turned out to be very thin.
This
is that bread
is
flour?
perfect. This is the bread flour recipe.
Yeah, that's much thinner.
Much thin. Okay, so Bradley's on the sauce.
Oh, boy.
That's that same sauce recipe. Oh, I remember. I used Celeste crushed tomatoes. They were very acidic, and I thought they needed a lot of sugar. Get them back. Can I get a spoon, please? So now, what I found is really important here is that you use a big spoon, of course.
Yeah,
But you use just enough sauce to cover everything. And I found that if you don't go like centimeter up to the edge here, it's going to give you a very thick, like 2-inch thick crust, which you just don't want. You want a very thin, well, not very, very thin, but a thinner crust.
Ryan, are we going to put toppings on this pizza, or is this going to be cheese?
Do we have any sausage still?
Yeah, a little.
A little bit. Okay.
Sausage on my pizza.
Fine. Yeah, maybe that's a little much.
I can cut up some more
Take
sausage.
a little off. Just a thin layer of sauce. This is a little more because I like a saucy pizza, but you do you. Alright, so that's perfect. Now I'm going to ask Bradley to get the Parmesan, and I'm going to get the cheese grater. Personally, I like to cheese. No, I'm going to re-talk that. That's my 7-month-old brother. He's very cute. Alright, so I like to grate the Parmesan right on. And I use the weird side of the grater. It's this one. Yeah, and I just grate the cheese right on. Not a lot. This stuff's very strong. And you can put more on. Oh, you know what I've realized? I've forgotten what major thing to go in the sauce. You need a lot of oregano. Like, you're going to want to taste it, the oregano. Because the oregano is a defining herb between normal pizza and good New York style pizza. So now that I've got a little bit of Parmesan on, I'm going to throw the normal cheese, which has been chilling in the fridge. I'm just going to grab it. I'm going to start going around the edge. Just like that. Make sure to get up to the edge or else you'll get like a ring of sauce around your pizza, which you also don't want. With the cheese, I find that just a little less than I think would be necessary works, because you don't want to over cheese your pizza. I don't know how many sticks that was. It was probably about 7 or 8 ounces of cheese. And that looks pretty good to me. Alright, my brother's been cutting up. That's spicy sausage, and I can't handle spicy things. So I'm going to take a little bit of this sweet Italian sausage that I've ground up and just go 1/2 of it, because that's about all I have left. And bring over those mushrooms, kid.
Yeah, save some for me.
You can have the spicy sausage.
Okay.
Perfect. No! No! into our 550-degree oven. And this is the best part. It takes like 7 minutes. So what I'm going to ask Bradley to do is take my iPad off the stand. And one thing before you do put it in the oven, you're going to want to give it a little bit of a shake. Make sure it comes off. All right, and then pull up. Beautiful. Brilliant. Right.
Unsteady.
Now, I'm going to take it over to the oven and place it on top. I'm going to open it up, and there's our stone, rocket hot. Don't screw it up, Ryan. I did not screw it up, I don't think. And now we're going to let that cook for about 5 minutes. Now while we wait, I take the pizza out with tongs and put it on a cooling rack so I can start the next pizza. That's what I'll do. Currently my brother is not eating dairy, so we're going to use dairy-free cheese, which actually works quite well, surprisingly. Here's our other dough, same as the other one. And if you remember our procedure correctly, we're going to go flour. And at this point, I'm going to ask my brother to grab, oh wait, no, never mind. That's okay. Flour. Perfect. Slide over. Good enough. More cornmeal. Just enough. There you go. And then we're going to start working out this one too.
Actually, can I try this one?
No.
Okay, that's nice.
Sorry. Now, it's really easy to burn these pizzas. I haven't done it yet, but it is easy to do it because they cook so fast. And there's a really fine line between cooked and burnt. I mean, I'd say 30 seconds. I mean, you don't have much time. When you're doing this, you're going to want to be really careful. You're not going to want to squish the edges of your crust. If you squish the edges, you're being very, very bad. Reason being you're very, very bad is because it's not going to fluff up and you're going to have a flat crust, which is a big no-no. Don't want a flat crust. Pinch that hole shut. So since this is the bread flour, it's very elastic. And I'm not getting a perfect circle here because I want big slices. This is like a squab long. Okay, sauce. By the time I'm done preparing this, I'm pretty sure that pizza will be out of the oven. So I'm going to mention now, it is crucial that you have a peel. I mean, you really need one. It'd be very hard without one. You can use like a sheet of cardboard, but it would be very nice to have a peel. All right.
Is this mine?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No.
So that's beautiful. Now we're going to not do the Parmesan layer because that has milk and dairy and lactose. Okay, now we're going to add our cheese, which is a little different because it's dairy-free cheese. It's actually made with chickpea, which is pretty interesting to me. If my brother can find it. There you go, kid.
Use it sparingly.
Thank you, Mom. Stuff's expensive. It's like $5. I mean, that's a lot of deers you have to shoot. Okay. All right. I'm going to go check on my pizza while my brother does that.
I don't think Ryan mentioned this, but if you want to have a nice even layer of cheese, it is best to work from the outside, kind of in to the middle. I don't think so.
All right, that's going to be like 30 seconds. So I'm going to get the rack out. I don't like to take it out onto a cutting board because it takes on the flavor of the cutting board, and that is disgusting because it cuts vegetables.
As you know, you do not like vegetables.
So that's enough cheese, B.
Yes, I know.
So now we're going to add the sausage.
Which I grounded up.
There you go, and if you want mushrooms too, do it. Just do it. Let me give that a couple more seconds. Looking good, kid.
No more mushrooms.
Perfect. All right, I'm gonna take mine out now. Okay, so something I've just discovered, because I've never done a half-half pizza. You're not going to want to do half cheese and half no toppings, because it will be bad.
Lower it more. Lower it more. Oh, can you hold the top?
Okay, in she goes. Listen to that sizzle. Alright, so here's this, the first one we did. Beautiful oblong shape. There you have it, folks. You see, nice brown color right there on that side. That one's not as brown because it had the toppings to disperse it a little more. And look at that crust. Okay, stop. You're slushing it around. But look at that crust, ladies and gentlemen. So that's New York style pizza to home, right, kid?
Yeah.